thought that was on my mind, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And I'm gonna try to be as short as possible because I don't be having a whole lot of patience with long ass videos when I just want to get to the meat. You know what I mean? Let's get to the point. All right. Here's the point. I am 41 years old. I'll be 42 in April. And the older I get, the more I realize I don't know anything. The older I get, the more I realize that there are levels and layers to things. And the older I get, the more I'm going to use the word annoyed because it is slightly annoying. But then it's also slightly, oh, you'll learn better by and by. That's what my dad used to tell me. You'll know better and you'll learn better by and by. And I didn't know what that meant, right? At 20 and at 30, I would get offended when people would try to tell me something against what I felt like I was so passionately, you hear me? I would passionately advocate for things or act like because in my head, I really thought I knew. I thought what I knew was it, you know? I thought that what I knew was just the pinnacle of knowledge and that there was no other additional knowledge that could be attained. And that just was not true, right? And so I do get, what is the word? Let me walk into it this way. On social media right now, everybody is really trying to be viral and everybody's trying to be popular, and nobody wants to go to work, and everybody's trying to, be the next big thing. And let me tell you, there are still going to be quite a few people that are going to be the next big things because it's unlimited energy over here. It's unlimited possibility. It's unlimited potential. You can be and do and think whatever you can believe and do and think you can do, right? And I realize that every channel is not for me. Every station is not for me. But I really get, it may even be the ick. Maybe the youngsters say, the ick, right? It may be the ick when I see 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds on here. And for example, there's this one thing somebody talks about starting over at 30. And I'm like, baby, you never got started. 30. At 41, I realized at 30, I wasn't even started yet. Mentally. You can't be. You can't know what you don't know, especially if you haven't been there. And because I'm so aware right now of these steps at 40, of these levels and layers, I really do believe that I don't know anything at 40. I really do believe at 50, I'm going to see something different. At 60, I'm going to see something different. At 70, I'm going to be something different. But when I hear young people, 20 and 30 years old, and they're so sure, and they have these platforms and people are watching them, and people are really taking advice from 20 and 30-year-olds, I'd be like, you need to, wait. Let's really pay attention who we're getting these words from. Let's talk about the podcast first and put cameras. Let's talk about the podcast for a second, right? I know a lot of people, so I'm an emotional wellness practitioner, and so I help a lot of people work through their emotions, right? And a lot of people they're getting offended by podcasts, but these podcasts are made by a lot of men in their 20s and 30s. Sis, you're in your 40s and 50s. Stop listening to that. That doesn't apply to you. These are young people talking the very limited experiences that they've had, talking through the lens of limited experiences that they've had. And let me tell you, this video is not a trauma Olympics. I don't care about I'm talking, but also not, you must be one of those 20 and 30-year-olds I'm talking about. But again, every channel is not for you, right? Every channel is not for you. And it is so important that this is my advice. I'm talking to the 20 and 30-year-olds, and I'm not telling you to don't become viral. I'm not telling you to not get on here and not share your opinions, but I am admonishing you and want to teach you this, okay? This is not a trauma Olympics. And I don't want somebody to say, well, because I've been through this, I know this, and you don't know what I've been through. You're right. Nobody knows what everybody has been through unless you were there, okay? But that does not make you have a window and a portal that's open to all the different experiences that are here on earth. And there are unlimited experiences on earth. So just because you had an experience, just because you had a chaotic experience, and just because you had a very impactful experience does not mean that you have the monopoly or the market or the bandwidth or the mindset for all the different unlimited experiences that could happen for you. And so it's just important that everybody remember, even myself, as I'm on here speaking to everyone, right? Um, this is crazy. I'm sorry. I started looking at the comments, and and the petty side of me wants to be ugly to the people in the comments. But in light of where I am right now, what I'm talking about, I'm just like, this is exactly, what I'm talking about. Young people get so offended, and I got offended. I got offended. And if this video helps one or two young people, that's great. It will not help most of them because we are young, dumb, and full of cum. Ain't that what they said? You feel like you know everything in your 20s and 30s. And I'm not talking about, I'm gonna tell you something else too. I almost want to talk to just people that are single. And when I say single, I don't just mean single married. I mean single with no children. I almost want to talk to people in their 20s and their 30s with no children. Let me tell you how much you don't know. Because children teach you a lot of what you don't know. Not everything, but they teach you so much of what you don't know. So I think that there could be 20 and 30-year-olds that have children that have a different level of knowledge that I would have on some things. Absolutely they would, right? But when you are 20 and 30 and you have no responsibility, you can't be so loud about what you think and what you know because there's so much you don't know. You can only think according to what you've experienced. You can only possibly think according to what the 5 closest people around you have experienced, if they share anything for you. It is wild the amount of it's the conviction level for me. And I just kind of look, and I'm not laughing because it's not a funny thing. It's not like it's not a making fun. It's a more so keep reading, baby. Keep studying. Keep getting mentors. And with the conviction that you get on social media and you share your opinions and views, when they change, not if, when they change, I want you to have the same fortitude and passion to get back on the social medias and share when your opinions and your views have elevated and when they have shifted or when they have healed. Because a lot of times people share their experiences through their trauma. They share their lessons through their trauma. They give advice through trauma. And when you realize that, some of the things that you said were through a traumatic lens, you do have a responsibility to come back and share when you've elevated and when you've grown. I am not. See, that's why I'm ignoring this person right here who probably doesn't even have furniture in their house. But me, I'm doing just fine. So you kind of, for the sake of this argument, you kind of got to be up to my height before you can talk to me. You know what I mean? You got to at least be up to my level before you talk to me. I can't hear peasantry. I can't hear it. I'm laughing at it. Just want you to know that. And we're all laughing at it. Like literally everybody that can see. I don't know why trolls feel like people are laughing with them. Most of the time people are laughing at you because there is a certain type of person that trolls. And nobody wants to be like you. Nobody. All right, back to the point. 20s and 30s, you really do feel, and I have empathy for that. I know what that feels like to really believe that you know something. You're convinced, right? You know that you know in your 20s and 30s. And then, like I said, when you get to your 40s and your 50s and you realize, I didn't know anything. I thought I knew what I thought I knew, but I didn't even know that, and everything changes and the layers start to get exposed. And you just get a deeper understanding. You have more life experience. You have more time to get exposed to different people and their life experiences and see things with them. Not necessarily through their lens, but you can always ask questions, to them about their experience and how they felt about it and the steps they took. Because that's how we grow through relationships with people, platonically and and romantically. That's how we grow, through relationships and through hearing about other people's experiences. But anyway, I do. At 40, I guess that's my bit of advice is just remember that, as you are building these social media platforms, that you only know what you know from the place that you stand right now. You only know life from the point of a 22-year-old. But when you can get to 50 and 60 and realize, oh my gosh, but that again, then that's the second point. That is the caution that we all must have when we're on social media and we're listening to people and we're getting advice. It is so important to remember where these people are coming from and why some people can say the things that they say when they have the luxury of not having the same responsibilities, or when they have not had the same heartbreaks, or when they have not had the same carpets and rugs pulled out from under them. It's really easy for people, and I think a lot of us have seen this now too. A lot of people in their 20s and 30s, they're on social media and they're becoming these influencers and these pillars of truth. And you're like, you never struggled a day in your life. You came from X, Y, and Z. I didn't come from that. And so their advice that they're going to give is going to be totally different. I love listening to different people talk about manifestation from their point of views. I have the language that I use for manifesting, and listen, I'm a brilliant manifester, but I manifest mentally, and it is difficult to teach. I will say that it is difficult to teach people how to manifest mentally because of how brilliant our brains are and how complex our brains are and our experiences are. So it is difficult to teach people how to manifest mentally. That's why I don't do it on this channel. I wish I could. I don't know how to do it on a YouTube platform. I only know how to do it through my mentorship, and that is what I do. I do it one-on-one through mentorship with people. I said all that to say, though, when I listen to people and their language about manifesting, a lot of times, I'll say this, about 5 years ago, I would get offended. I was like, what do you mean just become it? What does that mean, right? Sometimes they would use language because they were already on a certain level. So when they say to just become it, like right now, I know what that means to just become it, right? I know what that means. But 5 years ago, when I heard just become it, I was, well, how do I just become it? I know the how to just become it. But to people that are speaking like that and they use that language, they're expecting you to fill in the blanks. And you can't do that without experience. And so I say all that to say, again, it's just be mindful of people that are in front of you and that are on social media. We know that all that's glitters is not gold, but the most important part is just that admonishment to, if you're in your 20s and you're in your 30s, don't feel like you're behind the 8 ball, because you're not. You're right where you need to be. If you're in your 40s and you're having this quote unquote midlife crisis, which is basically your eyes are opening and you're like, all of this has been happening in front of my face and I didn't know, then welcome, right? I'm here with you. And it does make me anticipate 50 and 60 when that comes, because I know that each decade is going to bring about another level of understanding. And it is important, if you're in your 20s and your 30s, I hate when people say, trust me, right? Trust me. No, but don't trust me. Just be mindful that you're going to experience. You don't know anything right now. I'm going to say that with my chest. At 20 anything, 30 anything, it's impossible for you to know what you don't know because you haven't experienced it, right? I'm going to tell you now, you don't know anything. You don't know nothing. And listen, everybody 40 and up is going to get on here and be like, you right, Bishop? You're talking. You don't know nothing at 20 and 30. But you think you know. You feel like you know. And nobody can convince you that you don't know until you get to the next marker. And you'll be like, bitch, I didn't know a motherfucking thing. Then you get to the next marker and you'll be like, bitch, I damn sure did. I was just talking about all kinds of nonsense and didn't know nothing out of nothing. So I guess that's it. That's it. That's the crux of what I wanted to say. Young people, just know that, you guys, there's so much in life for you to experience. There's so many twists and turns and caveats and deeper understandings of yourself that you won't even know how to tap into until you get a lot older, right? until it's experience, it's exposure, it's experience. That's what gives us the data. That's what gives us the messaging and the understanding that we have to be able to maneuver through our lives. And then we realize as we're walking, hey, I don't like what this data is producing. So I'm going to rewire the data. I'm going to rewire the input. I'm going to give the computer a different command because I want to see a different result in my life. Until you get there, you know what I mean? And that again happens with age. I have a niece, one of my favorite little people in the world, and she'll be 22. Oh my gosh, she'll be 22 in like a week. No, 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 no. 6 weeks. She'll be 22 in about 6 weeks. And I enjoy listening to her talk about what she wants to do for the rest of her life at 22. Now, everybody here, you 40 and up, you're like, oh, to be 22 again, right? To have the body we had at 22, to have the low amount of responsibilities we had at 22. I ain't talking about people that had kids. I ain't talking about that. I didn't have no kids at 20. I don't have no kids now, right? For the people that were living a typical 22-year-old's life, probably just graduating from college or starting your first job or whatever. It's so interesting to hear plans, right? Or goals, if you will, because quite oftentimes people have goals, but people don't even know how to formulate plans. Plans have steps. If you don't have steps, then you have goals. And it is interesting just listening to her and other youngsters her age, and I just think how much is going to change for her from this moment where she's so sure about what she wants to do, and in the next 8 years when she turns 30. So much will change for her. So much about herself, understanding and knowing why she moves the way she moves, or even everybody identifying something about you like, I don't like that I do this, and then having to navigate why you do that, and then you realize what you thought you wanted to do for a living, you don't even want to do it anymore. You were doing it to attempt to heal a trauma or to keep yourself safe, or because you didn't want to be afraid, and so that was a safety mechanism to become something to keep yourself safe. They say, though, I've heard a quote that said that we become what our families and our parents would have needed. That's what I love that quote. We become what our families and our parents would have needed, and meaning needed to heal. So think about that. Take for a second, like, what do you do for a living? Like, did you become something in like a helping industry? Did you become something in a mental health worker industry? What did you become? Now, me, I'm a Jamaican. That's not nice. Well, that's not nice. Well, let me say this. Let me finish that thought. Some Jamaicans don't mind you saying that, but some Jamaicans might find that offensive. So I don't want to use that example. But I am a serial entrepreneur. There we go. And because there were a lot of things that I wanted to do, and everything I did was successful. Everything I did was successful. But I would get bored and get ready to move to the next thing, right? So now that I'm older and in my 40s, and have gone into the mental health field for myself, honestly, I started doing that for myself, and found an incredible interest in it. But then it just really made me know, honestly, when I started the mental health field, it made me know how much I didn't know. It made me know how much I couldn't see and didn't see. It made me know language. It made me very aware of the language that I used for myself. It made me very aware of people that I had around me. It made me very aware of my nervous system. It made me very aware of phobias and fears. It just made me very aware. And so that awareness came with age. That awareness came with time. And don't get me wrong. Like I said, when you're in your 20s, I did not say they were dumb. I'm just saying that this offends 20s and 30-year-olds because they really do believe it makes them feel like we're saying that they're stupid or that they're babies, and that's not what we're saying. What a lot of older people are trying to just tell you is that no, this is a game, and each level has a different level of understanding. You think about it. If you were at a concert, the people that are up at the top can see differently than the people that are in the middle, and the people on the floor can see differently than the people at the top. You're just at a different point, a different viewpoint. Not saying anybody's silly or dumb or ignorant or a child. It's not meant to be offensive. It's meant to more so be something for you to be excited about, to be something for you to look forward to be something that you're open to be something that you charge into, not resist, right? That's not the point of it, but there's just so much to learn. If you're in your 20s watching this, and if you're in your 30s, you're not starting over in your 30s, baby. You just getting started. Many of you, especially around 30, you just had your Saturn return that started at 26, 27, and it doesn't end till you're about 30. That Saturn return rocks the fuck out of people. A lot of times people experience death in themselves, in other people. I lost my father during my Saturn return. Quite often during a Saturn return, when you're about the age of 26, 27, going into the age of 30, it's going to, it completely shakes up the foundation. It completely rocks your identity. It completely rocks who you thought you were. And then you have your Christ consciousness age, which starts around 32 to 34. Oh, and you're not done, because you're going to start having a midlife crisis at 38, right? Everything starts crumbling at that, like, oh my God, I thought this was this. This is a lie. Oh my God, I wasted so much time, right? All that stuff. And then that probably gonna last till you about 42, and then you get another one at 50. It's so much going on. And if you're a woman, we ain't even tapped into hormones. We ain't even tapped into the hormones. So that's it. I've hit 20 minutes. And I try to make my videos under 20 minutes. So young people, 20 to 30s, 20s and 30s. I'm not saying this to be offensive, and I'm not saying this to hurt your feelings or say you're stupid or you're dumb. You're smart, you're brilliant. You have so much potential. You are the seed in the ground, and we see the little seedling, but you're nowhere near the fruit, and you're nowhere near the harvest. And so just be mindful that some of the things that you really feel that you're so sure you're right about, you may not be right. Or you may be right for yourself at where you are in life, but you may not be right for everybody. And your views will change as you get older. Your views, not may, will change as you get older. They will continue to change and shift upwards as they should, because you have more experience, you have more knowledge. Your brain is thinking differently. Did you guys know that the human brain is not even fully developed until the age of 25? 25. That means 22, you're a big teenager. You're a post-teen. You know they have pre-teens, post-teen until you're 25. Then you grown. At 25, you grown. This whole age limit of 18 and 21, humans made that. Westerners made that. But scientifically, not until you're 25, Charlie. So that's it. Have grace for yourself. Have patience with yourself. You're still learning. You're still growing. And even at 41, I'm telling you now, but there's so much that I don't know. But now I know I don't know. And there's a lot of times I'll stay a lot more quiet on some things because I understand it's complex and the answer may not be simple. And that it is important for people to work out internally and mentally their own answers. Because if I give answers all the time, it's going to be from my lens, and my lens may not be your lens, and my lessons and what I've learned in life may not be the lessons that you're learning. So just be mindful when you're 20 and 30. Sometimes we should have been a little more quieter. Sometimes I'll tell you this as I close. A lot of 20 and 30-year-olds are going to have these rants and tirades that they've been doing on social media etched in history, never to be erased. To always remember and remind yourself of how you used to talk when you were 20 and 30 and how you really didn't know anything. Wild, right? Anyway, I love myself. I love you. See y'all.